Breathing to prepare for sports, exercise, sparring, any and all of the above. This is something that I do, I use a lot before I get into jiu-jitsu sparring training, before I go into MMA training, get into the cage, before jiu-jitsu competitions, before going to the gym for a workout. I even use it when I'm getting sleepy behind the wheel. It's a very quick, very effective, very easy technique that you can use anywhere and any when. So, what does this technique do? Essentially, it stimulates the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight response, gets you all amped up very quickly, and then just as quickly it brings you back down. Stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system to calm you down again. So what that leaves us with is we are very alert, but we're very focused and calm, which is just what you want before a competition, before any sort of stressful work event perhaps, whatever it is you've got to do when you've got to be focused and calm, alert, focused and calm. This is the exercise that I use and I recommend to my students, my jiu-jitsu students, and anyone that crosses my path, really. The mechanics of the exercise, the sort of nitty-gritty of it, is the science of it, is it warms up the breathing apparatus, the intercostals, the diaphragm is getting stimulated, the transversus abdominis, all of these breathing muscles down here are getting stimulated, getting warmed up. You're actually building up a little bit of lactate in the muscles, which is getting them warm, getting them prepared for action, which is just what you want. Just like before you go to the gym, you warm up the muscles. If it's leg day, you'll do a few light sets of squats or deadlifts or whatever it is to get warm before you get into the heavy stuff. This exercise is doing the same for your breathing apparatus, your lungs, your diaphragm, your intercostals, all of the stuff going on here in your core and your torso. It's stimulating adrenaline in the body, noradrenaline in the brain, and then it's stimulating acetylcholine in the brain with the tail end of the exercise. And acetylcholine is what calms us down, gets us very focused. So, without further ado, what is the exercise itself? The exercise is primarily breathing in and out through the nose very quickly. It's a combination of pranayama breathing and some other stuff that I've picked up from my travels and my studies. I haven't seen anyone else do quite this combination of breath work. I'm sure there are people out there doing it, but I haven't encountered them. Would love to hear about it if you are and the results that you've had. But I'm breathing very quickly in and out through the nose. I'm pulsing my diaphragm. So I'll do it slowly so you can see what it is. So it's a strong exhalation through the nose, and I'm relaxing and allowing the breath to be drawn in through that vacuum that's created in my thorax, drawn in to the lungs. I'm not pulling it in, I'm just allowing the vacuum that the exhalation leaves in my thorax. I'm allowing that vacuum to just gently pull the oxygen, the air into my lungs through my nose. When I'm going into the exercise properly, it's very quick. It's I do that for about 30 seconds, 40 seconds, a minute, followed by a strong exhalation where I push all of the air, I contract everything here, I push all of the air out through my nose and hold. That breath hold lowers my heart rate. So again, I'm with the accelerated breathing, I'm getting the heart rate up, and then I'm bringing it down. The reason we want to bring the heart rate up is to activate the heart, activate the nervous system, stimulate the nervous system, stimulate the sympathetic nervous system. But then we want to bring it down. If we leave it up, we get up to 100, 120 beats a minute, and then we get into exercise, heavy exercise. Our heart rate doesn't have far to go before it hits our max heart rate threshold. So we use the breath hold and something else that I'll talk about in a second to bring the heart rate back down. It brings it down super quick, so you can get it back down to pretty much your resting heart rate. So I can get mine back down in seconds with a breath hold, using a breath hold, to 55, 60 beats a minute, from 120 all the way back down very quickly. We're holding the breath until we start to feel contractions and convulsions here in the torso. When I feel those convulsions, that tells me that my spleen is contracting. The spleen holds on to a lot of oxygen-rich blood in case of emergency. Emergency being you can't breathe. There's a lack of oxygen in the body. The breath hold tells your body, or your body perceives the breath hold as, of course, a lack of oxygen. Right? There's always lots of oxygen in your cells. They're always your blood cells are always pretty flooded with oxygen anyway, even if you do hold your breath for 20, 30 seconds. But your body perceives that breath hold as the carbon dioxide builds up in your body, it perceives that as a lack of oxygen. Panic, the spleen contracts, releases lots of juicy oxygen-rich blood, which acts as a sort of nitric oxide injection into the engine. So for about 15 to 60 minutes, depending on what studies you read and who you listen to, you will have the benefit of that oxygen-rich blood in your bloodstream, in your body, acting like a sort of nitric oxide boost. So we hold until we feel the contractions. We let the contractions go a little bit longer. We don't do it until we're blue in the face and we're about to pass out and we're just really struggling and straight. No. We just wait until the convulsions start. We hold it from, maybe a few convulsions. That's also strengthening the diaphragm. Over time, that will strengthen the diaphragm. That's stimulating the splenic contraction. Then we inhale through the nose. Long inhalation, long slow inhalation through the nose, filling the lungs now to max capacity. When I fill my lungs, I'm not necessarily focusing on trying to fill my belly, because there's nothing in the belly, it's just your guts in the belly. Lungs are behind here, so I'm actually breathing so that my rib cage here floats out to the side, forwards a little bit, but out to the side. That's a full expansion of the lungs. So a slow inhalation in through the nose. I hold for about 10 to 15 seconds. Let the oxygen sort of percolate back through into the system. And then it's a slow exhalation through the mouth. Letting all of the oxygen leave my lungs. And then I breathe lightly, normally, through the nose for a few more seconds, and I go into another round. And maybe I'll do 3, 4, maybe 5 rounds of that to really get myself amped up, calm down, amped up, calm down. By the time I'm done, I'm ready for action. I'm ready to go into the cage, onto the mat, into the gym, behind the wheel, whatever it is. Yeah? Whatever you require this breathing technique for, particularly effective during for sports. So without further ado, let's have a look at what it is. Of course, this is a YouTube video about fitness, so the shirt has to come off. The shirt is also coming off so that I can better illustrate to you you can see what's going on here with the diaphragm and the breathing and the expansion of the ribs and all that good stuff. So let's get on with it. I'm going to do an abbreviated version of this just because you guys are busy and I don't want to keep you sitting there all day. I want you to get the point as quickly as can be. So, check it out. I'll do a few more rounds like that. So let's talk through it again. What have we got? We've got the pulse breathing, the fast, rapid breathing, stimulating the diaphragm, stimulating the heart, the nervous system, everything else. Pulse breathing, 30, 40, 60 seconds until you get tired here. Get that lactate into the muscles of the torso. big exhalation through the nose. Hold. You can relax here, but hold the breath. When you feel the convulsions in the torso, the muscles here convulsing, contracting, let that happen a few times, 4, 5, 6 convulsions, contractions. Inhalation through the nose, fill the lungs so that they expand to the side. Hold, 10, 15 seconds, slow exhalation through the mouth, and then just breathe for a few seconds, go into another round. And that's it. I can do that in 3, 4, 5 minutes. I'm done. I'm feeling super pumped and ready for whatever I need to be ready for. So guys, I hope that helps. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you want, do the whole smash like, all that kind of stuff. Do whatever feels right and natural to you. It's your life. I would never presume to tell you how to live it. But whatever you do,